So I felt that the first team I should talk about of my favorite teams should be the team that's playing right now, and that would be the Texas Rangers. Um, the Texas Rangers kind of go hand in hand with the Dallas Cowboys as teams that I have loved my entire life, or teams that I've always felt I'm a fan of my entire life. I really can't pinpoint the moment that I chose to like the Texas Rangers. It's just been you're a Texas Rangers fan. Back home, um, it's pretty much a huge Texas Rangers place of fans. Now, of course, you've got your Red Sox and your Yankees, stragglers and stuff, and there are a few Astros fans as well. But the dominating majority are Texas Rangers fans. A couple of years ago when the Astros went to the World Series, I didn't really watch them. I didn't really care. I have no hate. There's no hatred or anything I have for the Houston Astros. I just didn't really care. And it was kind of big back home. There's a few Astros fans who are excited. And I don't want to jinx the Rangers, and I don't want to say anything that they will do this or anything, but if the Texas Rangers went to the World Series or anything like that, if that ever would happen, back home would explode. It's a huge Rangers-soaked place. And so it's really hard to say, when I became a fan of theirs. I do remember my first game, though. And I've been to, I can't even count how many Rangers games I've been to. I don't remember the year or even how old I was. But I remember that me, my dad, and my younger brother went with my papa and a bunch of his older friends. They had a church. My papa's church was taking a trip. And we got to went to Dallas to watch the Rangers play San Diego Padres. And I remember everyone let me know that the Padres had this great player named Tony Gwynn, who I wasn't really aware of. But I've always had this fascination with Tony Gwynn because he was like the first superstar of another team that I got to go watch. And the Rangers did end up winning that game, I think 4-3 or 5-3. What I really remember, I don't remember what happened in the game or really anything, but I do remember where our seats were. We were lower deck, right field behind my favorite player, Juan Gonzalez. Juan Gonzalez was my favorite Ranger when I was growing up. I think some of it had to do with his crazy batting stance, holding the bat way up over his head and having a really, really long follow through. And of course, he hit the long ball, and he was always my favorite guy. And back in the '90s when we were somewhat good and competitive, when we made the playoffs, I think 3 times. We had a group of guys that were really fun to watch and really seemed to mesh well. And most teams in all sports have a group of guys like that. Even as a fan, you have a group of guys throughout you're watching them that you really gravitate towards. And during that time, it was Juan Gonzalez, Pudge Rodriguez, John Wetland, Mark McLemore, Will Clark, Rusty Greer, of course, and those guys really just seemed to mesh and were really fun to watch and watch play together as well. You felt there was really good chemistry there. After that, whenever they kind of disbanded, and as baseball does, teams disband a lot more than in other sports because there's no salary cap, and so teams just go to the Yankees and the Red Sox. That team kind of disbanded, and for a couple of years, not only were we bad, but we really had a bunch of mercenaries come through. A-Rod being the most famous of them all. And so we really were real bad for quite a while. But this past couple years, we've kind of come along. Now, we haven't done anything special. We haven't made the playoffs. And this season, we're really doing well early in part of the season, looking like we could be a playoff team. I don't want to say we are just yet because I've seen this team implode before. But maybe starting about maybe last year or the year before, we really got a group of guys that it seems like we're going to keep together. Josh Hamilton, Michael Young, who's been there a long time, has been my favorite player. He's my favorite current player is Michael Young. Ian Kinsler coming along, Nelson Cruz. This group of guys is once again one of those group of guys that you really enjoy to watch. You watch them anyways because they're your team, but you've got that special group, and I think we've got a special group right now. Now, I haven't always really been hardcore into baseball. I've always been a Rangers fan, but I haven't always been a baseball fan, if that makes any sense. I never really watched any other games. Sometimes I'd watch the Rangers as a kid. But as I've grown up, I've started to really get more into baseball, trying to focus on it a little bit more. And it's always been the Texas Rangers. Like I said, I don't know how many games I've been to. I've been to countless Rangers games. I've seen them win crazy walk-offs, and I've seen them get completely obliterated. I watched us play the Atlanta Braves beat us 9-1. I watched us play the Stros beat us 9-1, I think. I've been to a Yankees game. I went 2 or 3 years ago when the Yankees came to Arlington and we were down 7-4 in the bottom of the ninth. We had 2 men on and 2 outs, and I forgot who was at bat and I forgot who made the play, but whoever was at bat looked like he hit a shot in the center field, looked like it was gonna go over, and he got robbed to lose the game. I've also seen us play the Red Sox. We kind of got crushed in that one. But and I went. My last game was last weekend or the weekend before whenever we played the Oakland Athletics, and I got to go to the game where we won 14-1. The team's always been good at hitting. Been a fun team to watch, even when they're not doing great. The Texas Rangers, my favorite baseball team, and always has been. One of the teams that I've had that I really didn't make a conscious decision of who to root for. It was just you're born and you're a Rangers fan, and I don't regret it either. We may not have won a World Series and have very limited playoff experience, but whether they're going up or as they usually are going down, I'm still wearing the T, still repping the Rangers. So that's my favorite MLB team.